Welcome to True Gorge Stoves and Spas. My name is Chris Walvert, and I am here to touch on three very important things for you to think about as you do your research to find the perfect wood stove for your home. The first thing I want to talk about is the size of the stove. The manufacturers typically make their units in a small, medium, and large sizing. So for instance, the larger the firebox, the more wood you can put in it, which means a longer burn time, and it will heat more square footage than a smaller unit. So for instance, if you live up north where you have long cold winters and you want your wood stove to be your primary source of heat, and you want that wood stove to burn all the way through the night, a small size wood stove or even a medium size may be too small for you. So you may want to consider a larger unit that can keep up with the cold outside and get you all the way through the night, and you don't have to get up in the middle of the night. The other thing I want to touch on is the appearance of the stove. Manufacturers use three types of material. This is the most common material, and that's steel, cast iron, and soapstone. With steel, it's very traditional. It's basically steel plates that are bent and formed into a firebox. So it's a very classic look. There's not a lot of design options to that, but it's also more of an entry price because it costs less to manufacture. It'll cost less for you as the consumer. Cast iron gives you a lot more options, because manufacturers actually pour the cast iron into molds, and so they can get very unique, very beautiful lines with cast iron. And then the other option you have with cast iron usually is that the manufacturer can put a porcelain coating over that cast iron, and that porcelain is very glossy, very smooth, it's very easy to clean, and it's just a very beautiful stove that a lot of homeowners prefer. The third appearance, or third material that's used, is the soapstone. And the soapstone is a very dense stone. So one of the benefits of soapstone is that it retains the heat within the firebox, so that it emits a very even heat. It takes longer to heat up and emit, but when the flame goes out, that heat that's stored in that soapstone will then continue to emit throughout the home. The third thing I want to talk about is hearth protection. Manufacturers, they usually have a third-party agency test their unit, in which they put it through rigorous testing to make sure that when they set the clearances in the owner's manual, that you are kept safe. So for instance, in your owner's manual, it'll usually tell you if the unit requires thermal protection underneath the unit or ember protection. Ember protection basically just needs to be any type of non-combustible material, so that if any embers pop out of the stove when you have the door open, when you're reloading it, the embers that pop out, they'll just land and quickly cool off, and that ember protection will keep the combustible material below that safe. With thermal protection, it needs a little more insulative R value, meaning certain materials may have to be used. For instance, tile does not give you as much R value as a hardy board, half-inch hardy board. So it's very important especially if you're building your own hearth, you want to make sure that you're building it up to code, and that you're building it to keep you and your family and your home safe as you burn your wood stove. Typically the lifespan of a wood stove is 15 to 20 years. So if you're looking to purchase a new unit, you're more than likely going to have this for a very long time. So you want to make sure you're doing it right. You want to make sure it's safe. And the owner's manual will pretty much walk you through that and make sure you're doing that right. So you have the size of the unit, is very important to consider. You have the appearance of the unit, the steel cast iron soapstone, that can match your personal taste. It can match the style of the home. And then you have hearth protection. So three very important things to consider, and I just wanted to put that out there and help you in that journey. I'm Chris with True Gorge Stoves and Spas. If you have any questions, feel free to contact us. We'd love to help you. Bye.